Growing up, I had the unique experience of attending grade school with several current NBA players. While these guys are professional athletes making millions of dollars today, I'll always know them for who they were during our childhoods. Normal kids. While these guys certainly possessed a unique genetic trait that allowed them to excel in their chosen sport, it was their hard work and lessons learned along the way that ultimately got them where they are today. After all, it is hard to remember sometimes that NBA stars like Steph Curry are human beings as well. In fact, Curry took an even more unique route to stardom than most players, despite being in the NBA family tree from birth. Most of you know Steph for his on-court magic, but this video will change your view of the three-time champion forever. While Steph displays a seemingly unguardable shot on a nightly basis, it wasn't always this easy for him to shoot. During his sophomore year of high school, Steph was an undersized guard whose shot originated from his stomach. Using similar mechanics to his current jumper, Curry's shot became too predictable, allowing opposing defenders to block him on a regular basis. Despite having the Charlotte Hornets' all-time franchise leader in three-point baskets as his shooting coach and dad, Curry was forced to rework his shot during the summer between his sophomore and junior seasons in high school. Was it easy? Not at all. Curry called that summer the most frustrating summer for me. I really couldn't shoot outside the paint for like the first 3 weeks, Curry said. All summer when I was at camps, people were like, "Who are you? Why are you playing basketball?" I was really that bad for a month and a half. Before, I finally figured it out. To think that the greatest shooter in the world's biggest weakness was shooting during his high school days. It's honestly crazy. The reality is, Curry was just like any other high school player, with even less physical abilities. When he was on the court, he often looked like a kid who dressed up as a basketball player for Halloween. The jersey draped over his tiny frame like a blanket, highlighting his small stature. Even when he grew and fixed his jump shot, he didn't look like a typical NBA prospect. For comparison, here's Steph as a sophomore in high school, and here's Zion. The lesson? Hard work goes a long way. During Steph's 8th grade year, he moved to Canada from Charlotte and attended Queensway Christian College, a Montessori school in Toronto. The sports he played at that school? Floor hockey, indoor soccer, volleyball, and basketball. I'm telling you, this guy was literally like everyone else growing up. In fact, to this day, one of Steph's favorite sports is volleyball. Queensway didn't even hold tryouts for basketball. In fact, anyone who wanted to play could. With that being said, Steph came out and led Queensway to an undefeated record, as they beat teams by an average margin of over 40 points. However, near the end of the season, one of the bigger schools they faced off against got tired of Steph's play and decided to try and put an end to it, and played him real physically throughout the entire game. It worked, at least for most of the game. Down 6 with a minute left and an undefeated season on the line, his coach had run out of ideas to get Curry open. At that point, Steph seemingly flipped a switch and told the coach, "We're not losing this game. Give me the ball." He went on to score 2 consecutive three-point baskets and eventually led the team to a 6-point victory. With that, the legend of the baby-faced assassin was born. What do you think? Was it all smooth sailing from there? Did he explode onto the national stage and showcase those skills that made him the 2-time league MVP that he is today? Absolutely not. In fact, he wasn't even close to that form. Steph had to try out for the high school team as a freshman, despite having NBA ties in his family. He chose to try out for the JV team instead. Now, this isn't the Michael Jordan story all over again, where he was cut from his varsity team due to his play. In fact, Curry shared that the main reason he didn't try out for the varsity team was that he was scared and felt nervous. He lacked belief in himself. Man, a kid who grew up watching his dad torch nets on a professional level? Who regularly challenged NBA point guard Mark Jackson in shooting contests? Who hung out in locker rooms with Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady? Yeah, that kid. Like anything though, Steph learned a lesson that he still carries with him today. He swore to never take the easy road again, knowing that failure is better than never trying in the first place. When he chose to try out for the JV team instead of the varsity, he failed to put his personal belief into action. Internal belief comes hand in hand with action. And that's something that's fueled Steph Curry to this day. While most future NBA prospects are racking up collegiate offers from early in their high school days, Curry was far from that. In fact, he wasn't even offered a scholarship at his father's alma mater, Virginia Tech. As Curry recalls, turns out Virginia Tech was only meeting me as, well, I wouldn't say a favor to my dad, like he would ever ask for that or anything. But it was more like a courtesy, a walk-on spot for a legend's son. I'd have to pay my own way, or in other words, they weren't interested. According to Curry's 2006 recruiting profile on Rivals.com, Curry received a grand total of 7 Division I offers by the time he made his collegiate decision. Davidson, High Point, VCU, Virginia Tech as a walk-on, William and Mary, Winthrop, and Wofford were on the list. Not exactly glamorous. While he eventually committed to Davidson, it was Coach Bob McKillop who took a chance on the undersized guard from Charlotte, North Carolina. Coach McKillop saw something in Curry's game that made him believe in the 18-year-old guard, an opportunity that Curry relishes to this day. Sometimes it just takes one person to believe, one opportunity. Coach McKillop gave Steph that opportunity, and he made the most of it. In the era of one-and-done athletes, most prospects spend their collegiate days as purely athletes while dropping the student part. Being a former student-athlete myself, I've seen the pressure that top recruits face to focus on their athletic careers at the expense of a somewhat normal collegiate experience. However, after looking through some old articles and YouTube videos, it's clear that Steph was a major exception. Honestly, he was just a normal guy in college. He attended frat parties, studied in the library, was on campus and hung out like most other kids. Obviously, he had a bit of an elevated status due to his family ties, but otherwise, he was just an average college kid. Do you believe me? Check out these old videos of Steph during his college days. Tell me he wasn't just another college student who happened to have a gift in the sport of basketball.
Outpost might be open later, but Allison cannot play.
Despite being a lottery pick and starting his rookie year, Steph's first few years in the league were filled with lots of hurdles and tough decisions. He suffered through losing seasons, coaching changes, and teammate issues. Teammate Monte Ellis infamously stated that he couldn't see himself playing next to Curry after the Warriors drafted Curry 7th overall that year. Curry underwent several ankle procedures to cure his ailing ankles and developed a reputation of being injury-prone. People had doubts about the Warriors trading his backcourt teammate Monte Ellis instead of him to the Bucks in 2012. Rumblings of being a bust were even heard. For a 23-year-old kid to hear those things, it was definitely tough on Curry. But this is where he developed his mental toughness, and most importantly, patience. Curry dedicated himself to his rehab program to strengthen his ankles like never before. He learned the things he needed to do to keep himself on the court and productive, while balancing his off-court life as well. Most importantly, he used that same belief that he developed during his freshman year in high school to persevere through it all. He promised himself that he would never take the easy way out again, and that's exactly what he did. Even after several consecutive playoff exits, a blown 3-1 finals lead, and a broken hand, Curry's belief in himself never wavered. This is why Steph Curry is a 3-time champion and a first-ballot Hall of Famer. Other players have had more opportunities, physical gifts, and talent around them, but Steph just kept grinding. He worked until that opportunity came at Davidson, and then capitalized. He worked to perfect his craft and to become the only unanimous league MVP in NBA history. He worked until his moment came in the NBA Finals and earned his championships. Steph has become the model across the game of basketball, not only for his shooting ability, but for his relentless work ethic and unwavering belief in himself. This is something we can all take from Steph, no matter what court we're on in the game of life. The thing that makes Steph so unique is that he's relatable to the average person. Nothing against players like LeBron James and Zion Williamson, but those guys had unique childhoods and were generational physical specimens. Zion woke up to train at 5 a.m. by the time he was 9 years old, while LeBron never stepped foot on a college campus. Man, both of these guys made grown men look like children when they entered the NBA. Steph, like many kids, played multiple sports when he was growing up. Yeah, he attended NBA games and got inside access to the NBA culture. But outside of that, he was a very normal kid. Seeing his success on the professional level serves as a reminder that we are all capable of exceeding even our own expectations, if we are willing to believe in ourselves and put the work in to get there. It's not always going to be a clear path, and it'll take everything we have to get through it. Don't be discouraged by people who doubted you along the way. I mean, Steph had his doubters his whole entire life, even up until the 2009 draft. 6 teams passed on him, and it is ridiculous. I actually have the video right here, where I go over how in the world they could have passed on a 2-time MVP. It is insane. Click it, guys, watch it, and I'll see you on the other side. As always, thanks for watching. Until next time, peace.